Hi, Tashidalek again. I hope you're doing well and keeping yourself healthy, happy, and healthy. So we will continue to try to understand more about refuge and taking refuge in the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and why it is important to go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And we need to understand the reason why. Otherwise, if you don't know why we need to go refuge to, why we need to take refuge in three jewels, then you don't, really feel connected with Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And also, it will be easier for us to have this real confidence and determination and diligence in the practice once you know the reason why we need to rely upon Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, why we need to take refuge in the three jewels. Okay, so the simple reason is, as mentioned, GAMPOPA mentioned earlier in the earlier chapters, is that since we do not know, how to accumulate merits and wisdom, and since we do not know how to purify all those different types of obscurations in the path to liberation, and that is why we need to rely upon someone who is knowledgeable of it, who has the experience of it, who is expert in this field. So the most expert among the all human being is the Buddha himself, the supreme of the two-legged, as is said. So he is the one who has this supreme knowledge. Buddha, because of his practice in the Dharma, he was able to purify completely, purify with all the obscurations, both obscurations of the afflicting emotions as well as subtle obscurations to enlightenment. And he was also able to accomplish all the accomplishments or promote wisdoms and all the beautiful different types of qualities. So therefore, he is the perfect one. And when I say Buddha, usually because of our habitual tendency of understanding Buddha, we always have this image of the Siddhartha Gautama Buddha. That is perfectly okay, because Siddhartha Gautama Buddha is the Nirvana Kaya form of the Buddha. But you have to go more deeper understanding of Buddha. When you say Buddha, you should understand the one who has accomplished all the accomplishments, the one who has purified all the obscurations. Then you have some kind of taste. When you recall Buddha, you can have this feeling of joyfulness. You'll able to develop a lot devotion, faith and devotion towards that. Then you'll be able to have also longing, faith of that. May I also be like him. I also want to, experience the permanent happiness. I too want to free from the suffering of samsara. And therefore, he is the perfect one who can guide us, who can guide me in the path of liberation. So therefore, you will develop this kind of genuine understanding of the Buddha. So therefore, Buddha actually is the Dharmakaya. The real Buddha is the Dharmakaya itself, which is the awakened state of mind, which is free from all the obscurations and free from all the suffering of samsara, who has actually accomplished all the good qualities that one has to accomplish. So therefore, the basis of all these manifestations is called Dharmakaya. And from the Dharmakaya, within the Dharmakaya, Buddha manifests in the form of two kayas, that is Sambhoga Kaya and Nirvana Kaya. So Buddha manifests in the form of Sambhoga Kaya in order to benefit, give teachings to these Bodhisattvas. And Buddha also manifests in the form of Nirvana Kaya, just like our historical Shakyamuni Buddha, in order to benefit ordinary beings, in order to teach them the Four Noble Truths, in order to teach them what are the causes for happiness and what are the causes for suffering, and also teach them how to eliminate those causes of suffering and how to accomplish those causes for happiness. So therefore, he is the perfect teacher. He has this quality. He is awakened, and therefore he wants to share this quality through the manifestations of either Sambhoga Kaya or Nirvana Kaya. So that is why we need to take refuge in the Buddha. And Next is to attain Buddhahood ourselves. What we need to do is we don't only attain Buddha, but we also need to hear the Dharma from the Buddha. We need to practice the Dharma, the instructions that he has shared with us. So therefore, in order to attain Buddhahood for ourselves, for the benefit of others, so don't forget the purpose. Our purpose is to benefit to others, and for that reason, we need to achieve Buddhahood. We need to purify all the obscurations, and we need to accomplish all the accomplishments of good quality, promote wisdom, and so forth. So for what purpose? For the benefit of others. So in order to benefit others, we need to attain Buddhahood, and we need to in order to attain that Buddhahood, we just can't pray and our wish are fulfilled. This is not going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to hear the Dharma, we need to study the Dharma, we need to investigate the Dharma, instructions of the Dharma. We need to verify all those beautiful teachings, whether they really make kind of sense to us in our life. And therefore, we need to contemplate the teachings that we receive from the Buddha. And we need to practice all the Buddha's teachings in order to dispel our confusion, in order to dispel our fears, in order to dispel our sufferings. So therefore, we need to take refuge in the precious Dharma. Likewise, in the field of the practice, in the way to the accomplishing of this primordial wisdom and perfect enlightenment, in the process of doing so, we need to rely upon other practitioners, as a companion to the path of the Dharma. So if you have some confusions, we can ask the Sangha members, and then they will be able to, clear our doubts. Or even greater Sangha, like, the four different types of persons in 4 different process of the liberation: stream enterer, once returner, non-returner, and arhata. Or even deeper than that, understanding of Sangha will be those who has generated bodhicitta, who are in the path of 10 bhumis. So bodhisattvas, Sangha members. So we need to have this kind of guidance from them time to time, so that we are not confused in our path. We'll be able to enrich our understandings through the guidance of the Sangha. So therefore, we need to take refuge in the Sangha. The ordinary Sangha, more than 4 bhikshus, or the realized Sangha of these 4 different stages of liberation, the 4 different Sangha in the what do you call Shabhaga school. Then we have this greater Sangha members like bodhisattvas in different bhumis. So therefore, these are the reasons why we need to take refuge to these 3 Jews. So by taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we began to follow the path that is the Dharma itself. So instructions that Buddha has given to us, we need to follow that path. We need to generate first from beginning. We need to understand what are the method of cultivating bodhicitta, loving kindness and compassion, how one can practice purification path, how one can practice the accumulations of merit path. All these beautiful instructions one must follow. One must enter and try to follow the path of purifications of different types of obscurations, as well as gathering of the true accumulations of merits. And that is why it is called the path refuge. Only not the guidance refuge, but the path refuge in the path or process in the Dharma, progress of the Dharma, or implementations of the Dharma in the path to the liberation. And by following this path, consistently and with diligently and persistently, and with lots of faith and devotion and confidence in the path, that you have no doubt that if you apply or if you follow this path, you will definitely reach to the Buddhahood. So We need to have that kind of confidence. And how can one develop that kind of competence is because while you follow in the path to liberation, while you practice those beautiful instructions, you not only follow those instructions just because it's said by Buddha, just because it's said by your spiritual master. We need to use all our intelligence. That is why we say, while you practice the Dharma, you always need to verify. We always need to investigate, and we always need to contemplate those meanings. This is how we progress. And if you have applied your intelligence and verifications, investigations in the path, then this will give you confidence. This will give you, generate confidence within yourself. And then you can say, oh yes, I'm not wrong. This is not the mistaken path. I'm in the right path. This is definitely the cause for happiness and purifications of suffering. So this kind of competence will develop. Gradually you will experience this kind of confidence after doing investigations, reasonings of all instructions of the Buddha, and verifying them into your practical life. This is how you progress the Dharma practice of the Dharma. Then after that, with that, one actualizes the result, the Buddhahood itself, which is complete and unsurpassable enlightenment, and which is known as Dharmakaya. So see, after following the Dharma, you'll reach Dharmakaya, or you will attain the Dharmakaya. After purifying all those afflicting emotions and different type of obscurations, you'll be able to, attend Dharmakaya. After accomplishment of all those different qualities, you'll be able to, see Dharmakaya or attend Dharmakaya. This is how you, as a result of your practice, with full confidence, diligence, and persistently practicing the Dharma, you'll be able to, see the Dharmakaya of nature of yourself. And this is how you awaken yourself from the deep sleep of confusion state of mind. So that time you become Buddha yourself. So until that time, you need to rely on Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Until then, you need to practice the Dharma. After attainment of Dharmakaya by yourself, then you don't need to study anymore. You don't need to rely upon anyone, because you have already reached that level. And you can be the object of refuge for other beings. So this is how you progress, which is so wonderful to, wonderful to study and understand this stages of progress. So therefore, sometimes when you say refuge prayers or practice of refuge, we just think this is a preliminary practice. That is where we chant 3 times and then we forget and we think now we need to go to the actual practice. But in fact, the practice of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is the preliminary, is the actual, and is the conclusion. It's all included in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Buddha is the Dharmakaya. Dharma is the instructions of the Buddha that we need to follow on. And the Sangha is a companion to us, towards that destination. So therefore, it is inclusive of all this Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So therefore, refuge is not only preliminary stage, but is also the actual end result. So therefore, refuge embodies all the teachings of the Buddha. So we should not consider it to be just a preliminary practice and not the main practice. It is the main practice itself. It is the most important as the first step towards entering the gate of the Dharma, and it is the most important at the middle, really practicing the Dharma, and it is also important at the completion of the state conclusion state, because there you can really witness Dharmakaya by yourself, by practicing the Dharma that is given to you by the Sangha in the form of the spiritual master. So this is how it works. So therefore, it is important to understand refuge and how to take refuge vows and what are the purpose of taking refuge, why we need to go take refuge in 3 jewels. Okay. So we'll continue from where we stopped yesterday, and before we do so, okay, now since we know importance of the refuge, so shall we pray lavish prayers, and then generate bodhicitta for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sangye jo dan zo ge jo nam la jang jo ba do da ne gyab son je da ge jin so ge be so nam ge do la ben je sangye do bar sho sangye jo dan zo ge jo nam la jang jo ba do da ne gyab son je da ge jin so ge be so nam ge do la ben je sangye do bar sho sangye jo dan zo ge jo nam la jang jo ba do da ne gyab son je da ge jin so ge be so nam ge Dola benje sangye ro bara sho semjen tamje dewa dan de wengyu dan den bara gyu je donga dan donga ye gyu dan da wa gyu je donga me ben dewa dan ba dan me da wa gyu je ngere ja dan ye dan da tanyam jen bola ne bara gyu ro je semjen tamje dewa dan de wengyu dan den bara gyu je donga dan donga ye gyu dan da wa gyu je donga me ben dewa dan ba dan me da wa gyu je ngere ja dan ye dan da tanyam jen bola ne bara gyu ro je Samje namje dewa dan de we gyu dan de ba gyu je donga dan donga ye gyu dan da wa gyu je donga me be dewa dan ba dan me da wa gyu je ge ren ja dan ye dan da dan nyam jen bo la ne ba gyu je ba den za ye la ma ren bo je da ye je wo be men den sho la ga den jen be go ne je son de gu song to ge ngo do en za do so. Okay. So this instruction is the antidote to not knowing the method of practice or not knowing how to cultivate bodhicitta. So we are trying to understand bodhicitta, and before that we need to have foundation for bodhicitta. In order to give rise to bodhicitta, we need to have kind of good foundation. And among the 4 different type of good foundation, taking refuge to the 3 jewels is one of them. So that is why it is important for us to take refuge in 3 jewels. After, this is the starting point where we really enter into the gate of the Dhamma, or you can also call it where you really enter into the enlightenment, enlightenment, because enlightenment will be your destination. So you really enter, towards that direction, towards that enlightenment state of mind. So because of that reason, it is very important. It's a good starting part. So those of who you have not taken refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha yet, so this is the perfect time, special month of Sagaddawa, and you can, if there's possibilities around you, you can take refuge vows, and there are ways how you can take refuge vows were taught later on. So the descriptions and definitions of refuge vow and descriptions how one can take the method of the ceremony are all given below. So this is good timing to understand this importance of refuge, and then try to take refuge vows, because life is short. So the sooner the better. Sooner that you enter the gate of the Dhamma, the better it is. Even though you cannot accomplish all the good qualities, and even though if you cannot purify all the obscurations in this lifetime, it will have a good tendency, that is planted in our mind. So in our next lifetime also we'll be able to recollect this, and we'll be able to meet where there's Dharma being taught, and we'll be able to attend those spiritual masters. So this is how you flourish, how you progress your practice in the state Dharma. So it is advisable. So yesterday we tried to understand how many different types of object of refuge. So there are 3, right? Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Buddha, the blessed, exalted, completely free from the obscurations, and has accomplished all the good qualities. So he's the unsurpassable. He has this unsurpassable state of achievement. That's why he's so known as exalted, the most precious, supreme of the beings, who has completely freed from the suffering of samsara and the cause of samsara suffering, as well as accomplished all the good qualities. So there's no more left for him to purify and to accomplish. Whatever has need to be discarded has been discarded, and whatever needs to have accomplished has been accomplished. So that is why he's known as the most exalted one. Okay, and then the Dharma, the instruction that he shared with us. So Dharma also, we now know that there are, Dharma of words and letters and Dharma of realization. So this is also important, because up to now, sometimes we think that Dharma is just those texts and books, Kangyur, Tibetika, Kangyur and Tengyur, those are placed in monasteries. That's Dharma, but that is the Dharma of instruction, but not the Dharma of realization. So by studying the Dharma of instructions, or the words, meanings, letters, then we need to attain the Dharma of realization. So our purpose, basic purpose of Dharma in text is to lead us to the Dharma of realization. By the help of these words and meanings and letters in the Dharma text, with that kind of, that as a support, by studying that text, and then applying into one's life, and we'll be able to realize the Dharma of realization. So we now know there are different types of Dharma, different types of Buddha, of course. Buddha of Sambhogakaya, Buddha of Nirmanakaya, Buddha of Dharmakaya. And also Dharma, we have now understand Dharma of instructions, or there are 12 different aspects of Dharma, remember? 12 different discourses of Dharma. And then we have Dharma of realization, that is the truth of path and truth of this essential of suffering. And then we have this Sangha as well, even Sangha, ordinary Sangha. More than 4 bhikshus are considered as ordinary Sangha. Then more realized Sangha of this 4 persons in 4 different stages of liberation: stream enterer, returner, once returner, non-returner, and arhat. And then we have this Sangha of higher realized level of different bodhisattvas in different bhumis. So these are different types of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Today we are going to understand, okay, if one takes refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, how long? What is the duration of that refuge? Till how long you need to rely upon Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha? So here, time, it says time. The 4th topic is the time. Time has 2 subdivisions as well. So in the common way, one takes refuge in the 3 Jews from now until death, from now until my last breath, from now until I survive. So this is one way of taking refuge, the time duration, time limitation. Usually Charvaka school, people who belong to Charvaka school or vehicle, they practice this. They take refuge until their death. But in the Mahayana vehicle, we take refuge until one is perfectly enlightened, or one achieves the enlightenment. So from today until I attain enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. So I take refuge in the Buddha as a guide, or the one who shows me the path, or the master. I take refuge in the Dharma as the path that lead us to the perfect enlightenment. I take refuge in the Sangha as companion or supporters or helpful benefactors in the path of liberation. So the time limitation, the duration has also 2 different types. One from today until my last breath, one from today until I reach enlightenment. Then next is the motivation. The 5th topic is the motivation. There are also 2 different types of motivation. Again, here is school, and Patika Buddha school, and Mahayana school. Because of, remember yesterday we studied about, because there are 3 actors, 3 interests, and therefore there are 3 vehicles. So each of those actors, since they have different interests, some has interest of benefiting oneself, some has interest of benefiting other beings as well. So therefore this differentiates the motivation here. There are 2 types of motivation. The common motivation is to take refuge in 3 Jews with the thought of one's own unbearable suffering. So someone who really sees the truth of suffering, and who really understands the different types of suffering in different realms, then that individual really want to get rid of those suffering. Therefore, they really renounce samsara, and then they really take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and they really want to benefit themselves. So this, the motivation is little different here. On the other hand, there are some individual who takes refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with the thought of others' unbearable suffering as well. So like bodhisattvas take refuge, or you can say, you can't call them bodhisattva right away, I think, but those who belong to Mahayana family and wanted to, cultivate bodhicitta, and those individuals who they first, enter into the gate of the Dharma and take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, their motivation is greater. They think that since I understand, I feel the suffering of samsara, I have experienced this sensation, feeling of suffering. So I do not want to see other being as well falling in this same suffering. So therefore, you have this kind of loving kindness and compassion. Yesterday, we remember, we talked about compassion. Compassion is not only feeling pity of others' suffering, but also wanting to involve in the other's pain and wanting to, relieve their pain. So that is why you are, very serious and very genuine from your heart of benefiting others. So those kind of individuals will take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, with the motivations of benefiting others or taking others' suffering as your own suffering. So that is why there are two types of motivation. And the next is the ceremony. The sixth topic is the ceremony, how to take refuge. Okay, so there are two types of ceremony as well. Common ceremony and special ceremony. I believe special ceremony or superior ceremony. Okay, yes, the common ceremony. In this common ceremony, first the disciple supplicates the master to perform the ceremony. So one goes to the master and asks, permission for taking refuge vows, or request the master to bestow refuge vow. The first, then the master makes offering in front of 3 jewels. If this cannot be arranged, then the disciple should visualize the 3 jewels in the space and mentally do prostrations and make offerings. So in some situation, especially nowadays, since we are all locked down, in order to prevent outbreaks of pandemic, so if there's not possible to see or attend your spiritual master and request him or her for refuge vow, then what you can do is, GAMPOPA said here, if that cannot be arranged, then students can visualize the 3 jewels in the space and then mentally do prostrations and offerings. So otherwise, if you are able to see the spiritual master, then you need to, do prostrations or make offerings or incense and flowers and so forth. Then the disciple repeats after the master, or if there is no master, disciple repeats these words, him or herself. So what are the words in ceremony? So the words are like this: please hear me, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Please hear me, my master. So you first request all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space or of the 10 directions, because since they can, if you want to make a wish, since they have this quality of, hearing, seeing every phenomena, so if you make requests, they will be able to hear your requests. So here, first we need to make requests to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas saying, please hear me. Then your own master, please hear my master. Then you repeat your name. My name is, like your own name, KHENPO CHONYI, for example. My name is KHENPO CHONYI. From this time until I achieve enlightenment. So GAMPOPA is focusing more on according with the Mahayana vehicle, the individual who belong to Mahayana family. So from this time until I achieve enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas, the supreme beings among the 2-legged, the quality of Buddha. Then next is I take refuge in the Dharma, that is supreme freedom from all the attachments. Then I take refuge in the Sangha, the most excellent of all the communities. So this is repeated 3 times from your heart. So this is the ceremony, the common ceremony, the easiest ceremony. and that is shared by all different Buddhist schools. So this is how you take refuge vows from your spiritual master, or just if that is not the case, if that is not doable, then you can take refuge vows by visualizing all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and your own spiritual master in front of you in the sky, and then you can either do physical prostrations or mental prostrations. You can also do either physical offerings or mental offerings, like mandala offering, visualizing all those beautiful things in this world, and you make offerings to these every wonderful things to three jewels, Bodhisattvas, and your spiritual master, and then repeating this word for 3 times. This is how you take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Quite simple, isn't it? So the next one is the kind of special ceremony that is, consists of more parts: preparation part, actual ceremony, and conclusion. So we try to understand this as well, this type of ceremony as well. It has 3 parts. The first one is preparation. So for the preparation, first, a qualified master who is worthy of being attendant is offered mandala with flowers and then requested to perform the ceremony. So here, the quality of your spiritual master. So the one who can really give you the refuge vow, or the one who he is also applying, Dharma, him or herself, who is practicing the Dharma, who is not just preaching but also practicing what he preaches. So that kind of spiritual master who is worthy of being given offerings and prostrations. So this kind of spiritual master, in other words, someone who you can really trust, who you have been observing his or her qualities, of the body, speech, and mind, then you can some kind of confidence. If you think, if I ask for refuge from this individual master, and he or she will not mislead me. So you have this kind of confidence within yourself. Then only you go forward and ask for refuge vow. So in this is the different type of ceremony, which is known as special ceremony. So in this, we have 3 different parts. The first preparation is you need to go and request, to your spiritual masters for the refuge vow, and then you make offerings and prostrations. The spiritual master will accept if the disciple belongs to the Mahayana family and is a proper vessel. So here, students, checks the quality of the master, and master also checks the quality of student. She will see whether this student really belong to Mahayana family, whether this student really have this loving kindness and compassion, whether he or she is eligible to give the refuge vow or not. So they are both sides. In both sides, there are some investigations are being done. On the first day, the master prepares the object of refuge. Object of refuge meaning the Buddha statue, and the Buddha's teaching in the form of text, and the Buddha's representative in the Sangha form. Or sometimes people prepare Buddha's image as Buddha's body, and the text, the words of wisdom, the text, the Dharma text as Buddha's speech, and then the stupa, which represents the Buddha's heart or Buddha's mind. And then he performs offerings and explains the beneficial effects of taking refuge. So since this is preparation day, the day first, so 3 days continuously. The first day, you request your master for the refuge vow. He will check whether you are qualified to whistle or not, and then he will prepare the objects of the refuge, and then he will teach you what are the beneficial effects of taking refuge, how many types of refuge are there, what are the prayers that you must do in order to receive refuge vows. And he will also give you some Dharma instructions, Dharma teachings as a preparatory stage here. And then also he will also teach you, different type of suffering in samsara, why people are still, are wandering in this samsara, why they are not awakened, why they are still, paying lots of attention and value to this external phenomena of the shapes and colors and sound, smell, taste, and texture. So he will teach you also the different types of faults of suffering, shortcomings of suffering of samsara, and he will also teach you what is the beneficial effect of taking refuge and what is the shortcomings of not taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. If you do not take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, you will be still wandering in suffering of samsara. You'll still not knowing, what to do, what need to be discarded, what need to be accomplished or committed. So therefore, he will teach you all this, advantages and disadvantages. Then the next day, the actual ceremony. On the second day, spiritual master performs the actual ceremony. First, the disabled cultivates the mind that the object of the refuge in front of him or her are the actual refuges. So whatever the representative of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha in front of you, you don't really see them as the object or just text in the form, the Dharma in the form of text or the Buddha in the form of statue. You really try to imagine that the qualities of the Buddha, the quality of the Dharma, the real essence of the Dharma, and the real essence of the Sangha. Then the disciple does prostration, he or she does prostrations and make offerings. Then the disciple repeats after the master in this way. Please hear me, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Please hear me, my master. My name is, from this time until I achieve Buddhahood, I take refuge in all the Buddhas, the supreme beings among the two-legged. I take refuge in the Dharma of peace and nirvana, the supreme freedom of all the attachment. I take refuge in the Sangha, the supreme assembly of non-returning bodhisattvas, thus repeated 3 times. So this is how you really, actual ceremony takes place. This is how you really repeat those words and try to get refuge vows from spiritual master. So these are known as the object abiding in front of us. Remember yesterday we have these 3 different types of objects. Object abiding in front of us, whatever statue or thanga or Buddha's image or the Dharma in the form of text, whatever are there in front of you, you really imagine that these are the real essence of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and then you repeat this word. This is how you really get refuge vows. Then after that, the full realization refuge objects are invited. So remember yesterday we have these 3 different type of objects. The first one is object abiding in front of you, and second is the object of full realization. So not only those objects in front of you, now you really want to invite the real Buddha from Pure Land to witness and to give you the refuge vow. So this is how you do the practice here. So the full realization refuge objects are invited, and the disabled visualize them as actually they are present in front of you. Just like when you do idam practice in Vajrayana, we have this front visualization, self-visualization, and then the deities that are invited from their pure respective pure dance. So when they really invite that deity, and then dissolve into front visualization, and this is how you try to receive the blessings of the deity. Likewise here also, after the repetition, then you really visualize that you are inviting the real essence of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha in front of you, and then you really think that they are actually present in front of you, and then you do prostrations and make offerings, and with the mind of complete surrender, you repeat the refuge vows ceremony 3 times, just like before. So you really surrender yourself. When you hear the word surrender, it doesn't sometimes doesn't feel so comfortable, right? But here in this case, you can really surrender in front of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, because they really can protect us from the suffering of samsara. So this is how you really, with faith and devotion, with full confidence, with acknowledgement of the importance of going refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and with that competence, you're able to bow down, place your forehead on their food. So this is how you really give respect to them, and how you really appreciate their kindness, and how you really feel that they are the protector. They are the supreme protector who can protect us from the suffering of samsara. And the next is the object of suchness. Remember yesterday we studied object of suchness. So this is the real understanding of the refuge here. Not only the Buddha in the form of Nirmanakaya, not only the Dharma in the form of Dharma of realizations, of Dharma of instruction, but the real understanding of our Dharmakaya. And if you can just sit there and meditate the essence of Dharmakaya, try to understand the meaning of Dharmakaya, then this is the real supreme refuge that one can really actualize. So after that, he prostrates and makes offerings to the suchness refuge object free of 3 spheres. So here, suchness refuge, meaning the heart of Buddha, which is the Dharmakaya, which is free from all the elaborations, which is free from all the obscurations, which is free from all these different type of shortcomings. And here he says free from 3 spheres. What does this 3 spheres means? Three spheres means that subject, object, and act. Usually what we do, even though we practice Dharma, for example, if I'm going to take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, you have these 3 spheres. I as a subject, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as an object, and the action, the word, the repetitions of word, and doing prostrations, making offerings, these are action, So we have this kind of what you call attachment or this clinging, that I am going to take refuge. They are the object for my refuge, and this is the method how I take refuge. So you have these 3 spheres in your mind. So we need to free from these spheres. You need to actualize the selflessness of these 3 spheres, or you need to actualize the emptiness nature of these 3 spheres. So if you're free from these 3 spheres, then your activity is like, expands all the space. So there's no kind of protecting this importance of me, and the importance of others, and importance of act. So if you are able to see the freedom from these 3 spheres, you can really see the Dharmakaya. You can really see the ultimate nature. So therefore, all the phenomena are primordially selfless, existing without any identifications of their own. Everything exists according to cause and conditions, and in the interdependence nature. Therefore, they do not really exist by their own kind of entity or their own identification. The Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha should also seen in this way. So Buddha, you should not see Buddha as something existable thing, Buddha, and you should not have attachment to Buddha, and Dharma and Sangha as well. So that's why it's called suchness, object of suchness, Dharmakaya, emptiness nature, primordial wisdom. So if you're able to see and meditate in this kind of state of mind, then you are really going refuge to the suchness, and that is the ultimate refuge, which is inexhaustible, eternal, and unchanging ultimate refuge. So this is the actual ceremony of the special type of ceremony of taking refuge in the 3 jewels. So there's a quote from the Naga King Anabhatabhata Requested Sutra. What is taking refuge with mind free from worldly activities? Those who realizes all phenomena are non-existent and have no form, no perception, no characteristic, sees the Buddha perfectly. So this is what it means by suchness, free from the worldly activities, or free from the 3 spheres. Likewise, this is the taking refuge in the Buddha. Likewise, one who really realizes all phenomena are the nature of Dharma Dhatu is taking refuge in Dharma. And one who realizes that the composite and the non-composite are non-dual is taking refuge in the Sangha. So this is more extreme, advanced understanding of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So this will come more in detail, kind of emptiness nature of phenomena in later chapters, especially in the wisdom chapter. So this is the one way of ceremony, in the special ceremony of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So now next is the conclusion. Conclusion, the third day is the conclusion ceremony, where one makes offering to the three jewels with gratitude. So after taking refuge, so you really feel that how fortunate you are, because now you have just entered into the gate of the Dharma, and this is the first step you are going to see the enlightenment state of mind. This is the first step where you're going to eliminate all the sufferings and cause of sufferings. So therefore you should feel so fortunate that you're able to do so. You're able to really enter into the gate of the Dharma and take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, who will be our great protector from now until enlightenment, who can guide us, teach us, and show us the path. And Dharma, which is the real path that we need to walk on. And Sangha as a companion for our, supportive for our path, practice in the path of liberation. So this is how you, feel gratitude, feel happy, and show your all the respects, gratitude, respects to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and also to your spiritual master who has just bestowed you the refuge vows. So traditionally, what we do after this repetition, then the master will cut a small piece of your hair, which symbolize, that you have you have given up the lay life, and then you have entered into the gate of the Dharma. This is how you shave your hair and changing your sign, change. So there are three different types of changing, transforming yourself from ordinary thought into spiritual thought. So first one is cutting the piece of your hair, and second is the master will give you a new name, and that is another sign of transformation from worldly into spirituality. And then thirdly, if you want to become monk or nun, then you need to change the uniform as well. But for now, it's okay. Just upasaka and upasika is good enough. Since you are lay practitioner, you have lots of responsibilities as well. So you need to balance the responsibility, worldly responsibility, and also the inner value, internal value of importance of how to cultivate bodhicitta and how to purify all those obscurations, how to eliminate those causes of suffering of samsara. So you have to balance this too. So this is first step, how you want to accommodate merit and wisdom in the future. So therefore this refuge ceremony should consider as a very important part of your life. You really want to transform yourself from the ordinary to spirituality. You really want to change your attitude towards sentient beings, from ordinary thought into some kind of beneficial thought. Usually what we do is we take importance of ourselves and we don't value of others. So therefore we are always competing with others, and therefore we are always attached to our importance of our life, importance of our wealth, importance of our education, importance of our relatives, and so on and so forth. So if you really when you really enter into the gate of the Dharma, then you also increases this, especially in the mind vehicle, you increase this importance and kind of concern for others' well-being as well. And this is how you developed loving kindness and compassion, and by the grace of the three jewels, you'll be able to walk according to the Dharma. You can act according to the Dharma, you can think according to Dharma, you can speak according to Dharma, which is completely virtuous, which is always a source of happiness for yourself and others, which is always the root cause for the happiness of yourself and others, which are very pleasant, which is something that all of us should apply in our day-to-day life, which makes our life beautiful, which makes our surroundings beautiful. So that is why we should really appreciate and uh, pay our gratitude to three jewels by taking the refuge in the three jewels. The next is the activity or the beneficial effects of the taking refuge in the three jewels. There's a quote from the Mahayana Sutra. Ornament of the Mahayana Sutra says, protections from all the harm, freedom from lower realms and the being unskilled, freedom from the view that there is a person, and the protection from the lower vehicles. Therefore, it is the noble refuge. What does this mean? This means that after taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you are protected from all the harms. How are you protected from all the harms? Because now, Buddha will teach you what are the harmful causes. And he'll teach you, Buddha or the representative of Buddha, your spiritual master will teach you what things to do and what things not to do. What are harmful things that you need to avoid, and what are the helpful things that you need to apply. So after that, you are protected from any harm. If you harm now, you're committing non-virtuous act, and this will have the consequences, right? Remember? So therefore, you are protected from involving all the harmful act. And is also free from lower realms. That means if you do not, engage or commit any kind of non-virtuous act through your body and speech and mind, then you do not need to experience the suffering of lower realm. You will not fall on lower realm. This is how you are protected. And being unskilled, so you are also freedom from being unskilled. So you are now the skillful means how to practice Dharma, how to be generous, how to be kind. So you have these all good qualities now because of the grace of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, or the spiritual master. And from freedom from the view that there is a person. This means that until now, until before I enter into the gate of the Dharma, I think there's this self-existence, that there's this self-entity which is existence. But after knowing the Dharma, after taking refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha through your spiritual master and studying the Dharma, and this is how how you dispel your ignorance, delusions, confusion state of mind. Then you are able to see, oh, there's no such called self-existence nature. Everything comes, appears, works, operates according to cause and conditions. Everything works according to cause and conditions, and everything has to be depend on each other. They are all interdependent nature. So because of that reason, there's no such called single entity which is existence, which do not need to rely or depend on anything else. So which is like there's nothing like that. So this is how you purify your confusion state of mind, and then oh, everything is a continuity. Everything works under cause and condition. So that is why you are protected from this wrong view of thinking there is a self-entity. And then you are protected from the lower vehicle as well. So since you enter into the Mahayana vehicle, and you are also taught by your spiritual master how important it is to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, how important it is to have concern for others' well-being. Therefore, you will, release the importance of yourself. You release the ego-clinging. This is how you free from the lower vehicles. Therefore, it is the noble refuge. So this is the beneficial effects of taking refuge. Thus, the common refuge protects one from the harms, the three lower realms, unskillful means, and the belief in the abiding person. The special refuge protects one from the lower vehicle and so forth. So the common refuge and special refuge. Remember, the one who takes refuge according to common refuge ceremony, one is free from the harmful thoughts, as I mentioned earlier, three lower realms and unskillful means, and believe in the abiding of the self-entity. Likewise, in addition to that, if you take special refuge ceremony, then you are protected from lower vehicle as well, because you have taught about the importance of and the value of the loving kindness and compassion. And the next is the training. So what are the training after taking refuge? What you should do and what you should not do. What are the do's and don'ts? Training. There are 3 general training, 3 particular training, and 3 common trainings. There are also 3 sets of trainings. First one, the 3 general training consists of making a constant effort to make offering to the 3 jewels. So this is your training. After taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you always need to make offerings to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha's image, or to your spiritual master. So that is why every morning, remember, we try to offer water in the offering bowls, incense, flower, scent, musics, or butter lamp. So this is why we practice. This is the training after taking refuge in 3 jewels, special here. And even offering whatever one eats and drinks. So after going to refuge in the 3 jewels, before we eat, before we drink, we always make prayer of offerings to 3 jewels. Tembalame Sangye Rinpoche, Kyobalame Tamche Rinpoche, Tembalame Kidu Rinpoche, Kamnya Kunjo Sumla, Chebab, means I offer this food to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha with remembering their qualities. So this is one training. Second training is not forsaking the 3 jewels, even the risk of one's life or for a great reward. So not forsaking, because since now you know the reason why it is important to take refuge in. You know the importance and qualities of the 3 jewels. That is why you have confidence and you will not forsake the 3 jewels just for reward. If someone says, I will give you 100,000 rupees, you forsake Buddha Dharma. So you not do, because you have this confidence, because your confidence was developed within yourself. You know all the good reasons why it is important to take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. You are not forced by someone else, or you are not cheated by someone else. Then you try to take refuge in 3 jewels. If that is so, that will be another case. Then it is easy to forsake Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha if someone bribes you, or show you all these beautiful things, or even at the risk of your life. If someone says, I'll kill you if you do not forsake Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. But if you have real competence and if you really want to free yourself from the suffering samsara and experiencing the suffering in the future, you said, no, just you can kill me, but I have the full competence in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, so I'll not withdraw from my refuge. So this kind of competence. And then third is repeatedly taking refuge by recollecting the qualities of the 3 jewels. So every time, so remember, every time we teach, we do prayers, we always recite refuge prayers, and this is how you retake refuge every time to refresh, renew, and encourage yourself. This is how we practice in the training after taking refuge in 3 jewels. Then next training, there are 3 sets. Remember, the second set is 3 particular trainings are having taken refuge in the Buddha. One should not take refuge in other deities, because we remember now, other deities, they cannot protect us, because since they are also not free from suffering of samsara, they are also overpowered by negative afflictions and emotions. So even though they can help you with the food, clothing, and shelter, but they cannot protect you from the suffering of samsara. So therefore, after taking refuge in Buddha, it's not necessary to take refuge in the local deities or your relatives, parents, so and so forth. So there's a quote from the Sutra of Great Parinirvana. It says, one who takes refuge in the Buddha is the pure Upasaka and never go for refuge to the other deities. So here Upasaka meaning the lay followers of the Buddha Dharma. Upasaka and Upasika, both male and female lay practitioners. Then, having taken the refuge in the Dharma, one should not harm other sentient beings. After taking refuge in the Dharma, you should not harm any sentient beings, even mosquitoes. Remember, we have this habitual tendency of killing mosquitoes every now and then. So we should not. There are many other ways to protect yourself from mosquitoes' bite. You can have net, or you have some kind of anti-mosquito lotions or kids, which are not killing, but which are, making them a little bit dizzy so that they don't bite you. Otherwise, you're not killing them. So there are modern equipments which really kills them, and these are not advisable to use. These are not good at all. After taking refuge in Dharma, you should not take any sentient being's life. As it says in the Sutra, by taking refuge in the precious Dharma, one's mind should be free from hunting and harming others. Very important. This is practice, training. And then third is after having taken refuge in the Sangha, one should not rely on heretics, wrong views, or sacrificing, animals for the name of worshipping. So this kind of heretics we should not rely on. It says in the Sutra, by taking refuge in the Sangha, one should not rely on heretics. And finally, the third type of training is the three common trainings are to respect the Buddha's jewel in every form. So after taking refuge in the Buddha, you should respect Buddha in any form, either it's Thanga or statue or tsatsa or whatever. So you really can see, oh, this is the representative of Buddha. And when you see Thanga or tsatsa or image of the Buddha, you really see the qualities of the Buddha, and you really feel fortunate and be grateful of the kindness of Buddha by showing us the Dharma that lead many sentient beings from the to the enlightened state of mind, and was able to free many sentient beings from the suffering of samsara. And second kind of common training is after taking refuge in the Dharma, to respect the foundation Dharma jewel, the book and the text of the precious Dharma even are one syllable. So that means that you need to pay respect to the Dharma texts, Dharma books, even one syllable of Dharma, ka, a, whatever, or whatever letter that is, descriptions of the Dharma, you should respect. And finally, the third type of common training is to respect the precious Sangha jewel, even the piece of cloth of the Buddha, dress of the Buddha, even the patch of yellow cloth. So when you see yellow robes, or even a piece of patch of yellow robe, you see, oh, this represents the Buddha. Buddha was wearing a yellow cloth. So this kind of attitude, very respectful attitude. So this is how you can train after taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay, so we'll leave here for today, and we'll try to understand more of refuge, taking refuge, and precepts tomorrow. And before we conclude, we should dedicate our merits, this good merit that we accomplish by sharing the Dharma and listening the Dharma in these very special occasions of Sagadawa, for the benefit of all sentient beings. So nam de tamje sigba nye domne nye be danam pamje ne gega naje bala drobai sibe chole dowa dowara sho.
We do meditation and reciting the mantras and the aspiration prayers. Therefore, first we take a refuge and generate the bodhicitta. For that, you visualize in front of you at the sky, your Guru, and surrounded by Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or the deities. With your faith and devotion, we take refuge and generate a bodhicitta. Dola penche sanje do Sanje Jedang Hai Zogi Janam La Jan Choi Parado Dane Jazo Enji Dage Jin So Enji Bez Namangi Drola Benjir Sanje Sanje Jedang Han Zogi Chunamada Jan Chua Parado Dane Jasunji Dage Jinsu Jibi Namangi Drola Benje Sanje Do Paraiso Sem Dam Jin Deva Dan Deve Jo Dan Den Parajurji Tunga Dan Tunga Ge Jo Dan Da Parajurji Tunga Me Be Dewa Dan Ba Dan Me Dewa Nire Jada Nye Dan Dave Dan Yomoy Jembo La Ne Parara Juruji Sem Je Dan Den Deva Dan Devi Chu Dan Den Parara Juruji Dunga Dan Dunga Ge Ju Dan Da Parara Juruji Dunga Me Bin Dewa Dan Ba Dan Me Da Parara Juruji Nire Jada Nye Dan Dave Dan Yomoy Jembo La Ne Parara Juruji Sem Je Tam Jin Dewa Dan Deve Jo Dan Den Parara Juruji Tunga Dan Tunga Ge Jo Dan Da Parara Juruji Tunga Me Bin Dewa Dan Ba Dan Me Da Parara Juruji Sem Je Tam Jin Dewa Dan Deve Jo Dan Den Parara Juruji Tunga Dan Tunga Ge Ju Dan Da Parara Juruji Tunga Me Bin Dewa Dan Ba Dan Me Da Parara Juruji Nire Jada Nye Dan Dave Dan Yomoy Jembo La Ne Parara Juruji Now we meditate on the giving and taking meditation. In Tibetan we call it Tong Lan. Tong means give, Lan means take, giving and taking meditation. Therefore, first you visualize that in front of you, your parents, your friends, relatives, and all other beings are all in front of you. They are physically not healthy, mentally not stable, they are all suffering. Now you meditate and take all that they are suffering and give our happiness to them. This meditation is supplied with your breathing. When you breathe out, when you breathe in, that time you visualize that other beings they are suffering, pain, unhappiness, and the cause of the sufferings, the ignorance, anger, jealousy, attachments, all come out from their body, form of black smoke. We breathe in all the smoke with your breathing into your body. Then at your heart, the fire will burn off all the black smoke, just vanish. Sometimes that all the mother sentient beings, they are free from the suffering and the cause of the sufferings. Now we breathe out, that time you visualize from your body that all your virtues, your merits, your happiness, cause of happiness all come out, form of white color smoke with your breathing, breathe out and dissolve into them. Imagine they receive your happiness and the cause of happiness. Then they are forever staying with the happiness and the cause of happiness. Meditate for 5 minutes. Now we recite all the mantras. First we recite Avalokiteshvara 4 36 mantra. We recite mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. And therefore you have to visualize that our impure place, impure mind, impure body, impure speech are transformed into the pure. Therefore, instantly that you imagine that your place is pure land of the Avalokiteshvara, and your body is no more ordinary body like this, transformed into the Avalokiteshvara's body, 4 arms, and your speech is transformed into the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. Then your mind, whatever thoughts is imagined, that is wisdom of Avalokiteshvara. Then with this visualization, and to give love and compassion to all the sentient beings. See your eye is open. Without even blinking, you're looking towards all the sentient beings with your love and compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Recite the mantra 108 times. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Umane Beme the long life Dharani. Therefore, you visualize the Buddha Amithayu above your head. The Buddha Amithayu is Sambhogakaya form of the Buddha Amitabha. Now you visualize from your heart radiant light. This light go up and dissolve into Buddha Amitayu's heart. That requires Buddha Amitayu to give us blessings and purifications. Through his love and compassion, radiant light from his body. This light goes all over the place. The light will collect all the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And also you light will collect all the energy of the universe and the essence of the 4 elements, all dissolve into his holding long light vase. They all go into the long light vase, then all transform into the nectar. The nectar overflow from the vase, go into your crown and the body, to purify all the obscurations and the obstacle for the long life. This nectar fill up your body. You imagine that you receive all the blessings of energy. That your body is full of the energy, the radiating light from your body. With this visualization, they will recite the long dharani for 7 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Sobhine Tita Dejorajaya Tathagata Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Ambone Bone Mahabone Aparimita Bone Aparimita Bone Jnana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Samkara Parishuddhi Dharamate Kagana Samugate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivara Saha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Sobhine Tita Rajaya Tathagata Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Ampune Bune Mahabune Aparimita Bune Aparimita Bune Jana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Sankara Parishuddha Dharamate Gagana Samungate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivari Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Sobhine Chita Tejorajaya Tathagata Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Ampune Bune Mahabune Aparimita Bune Aparimita Bune Jnana Sambharo Bhajite Om Sarva Sankara Parishuddha Dharamate Gagana Samugate Sobhava Vishuddhi Mahanaya Parivara Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayojana Sobhine Tita Tejorajaya Tathagata Arahate That medicine Buddha's mantra, there's a long mantra and short mantra. Both we recite 7 times each. Therefore, you visualize that from your heart radiate light. This light go to medicine Buddha's pure light. This light dissolve into the medicine Buddha's heart. That requires medicine Buddha to give us purification and the blessings. Then he remember, medicine Buddha remember that his aspiration that he did 12 great aspirations through his compassion and love. Nectar flow from his begging bowl. This nectar come on, go into your crown and body, purify all the sickness and the cause of the sickness. Then also nectar go into all the mother sentient beings. They purify all their sickness and the cause of the sickness. So nectar fill up your body and all the mother beings. Then you make it receive the medicine Buddha's body, speech, mind blessings. So we are all free from the sickness and the cause of the sickness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vedanti Guru Bendraya Prabharajaya Tathagatai Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Begante Begante Maha Begante Raja Samangate Om Namo Bhagavate Begante Guru Bendraya Prabharajaya Tathagatai Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Begante Begante Maha Begante Raja Samangate Om Namo Bhagavate Begante Guru Bendraya Prabharajaya Tathagatai Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Now you visualize that Panashawari deity is in front of you. The nectar flow from her body to your crown and body, purify all your sickness and the cause of the sickness, and all the obscurations, all the negative energies are all purified. Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani Sawa Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani Sawa Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani Sawa Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani So Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani So Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani So Om Bishati Pranashawari Sarva Jora Prashamani So. Now visualize the Dorji number Jumba in front of you in the sky. The nectar flow from his body. This nectar go in your crown, into your body, then purify all your sickness, obscurations, all the negative energies are all purified. Nama Tenda Benza Krodaya Holo Holo Dista Dista Benda Benda Hana Hana Amite Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Krodaya Holo Holo Dita Dita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amite Now visualize the tall Wesak in front of you. Nectar flow from his body going to your body that purify all your sickness, cause of the sickness and all the obscurations, especially of the negative energy are all purified. Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Brahmanaye Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe Om Guru Brahma Bhuti Bhuti Bhimale Ozoma Krodha Humbe. Now visualize that in front of you the sky, that 8 medicine Buddha, and surrounded by 16 bodhisattvas and countless of medicine deities. With your devotion, faith, and request them to give us the purification and the blessings. Ma bekanze ranja samongate soha deyata omon bekanze ma bekanze ranja samongate soha deyata om bekanze ma bekanze rata samongate soha. Recite mantra 108 times. Deyata bekanze ma bekanze rata samongate soha. Bekanze ma bekanze rata samongate soha. Bekanze ma bekanze rata samongate soha. Samangana Swanaya Namagana Mamigana Samangana Swanaya Raja Samangate Soy Simjane Pai Jine Pai Yoda Nele Tajri Javiene Nai Malapa Tato Juai Me Braraizu. Now we do the aspiration prayers that composed by the Mahasiddha Tangtong Gyapos. When we recite these aspiration prayers, then you must think of the meaning of these aspirations. Jigde gaim so juwa wara mai juruji jeta shinje kai na se pai tara nige mi zaman te pe ta ji nhìn chế bài ta tai bê rìm soi kên lì chế kên la nê ba mai chư chi nê bê kê rê toàn trái chế chôi tăng LODRO ye do sum ya do ju da chi ja sa ji ne la so ba ye le ji ge la se wa ma ju ji le sen de wa my little Jebe, Junshi to be Jiniba, Malish, Nine to buy them by down, Serene. LAMA Gonjo Sangye Doje Dan Hando Che Jon So Mene Do Dan Lende Lo Wa Me Be De Doji Ngô wa mo lai tai ze du o pararai shu ima ho sarai san je na wa THAYE THAYE SOJO DOJI KHENPO DANG yen usen ba tu je ta nam la sang ye jang sen ba en ko je ba je je ma zra ba do me ba ye de wa je je ja ve jin gan de ta ne de ne te do jo ma ta ke wa shin je ba ma je ba ro Dera jene na de jeta joy de ge da ge me na ma ta pa ti cho jo san je jan se tan je je ge me do pra jin je la to so te ya ta pen da je ya awan bon da na ye so hai chun de je wan se ji gong CHONYI do la je ra ta ge je san ge san ba quan jo san la je ba go Kala ve ten ba ve ju ji ge wa sen je ge la ngo do ge san je do ju ji ge za dan ji 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 da xin ji la ming ge di ni da ni zo zo te che re ne me nyang do pe se de sa jo nan jo ji nam she se pe jo ma ta te wa jin do ji jo ji je ne pe me ka ji de le den de la san ji sho chan cho to ne ji se do tu be do wa de ba sho. Now we do dedication. We dedicate by this marriage all sentient beings free from the suffering and obtain enlightenment. Sanan de ye tan je se ba ni thon ye be da na ba ji ni ke ga na je ba la ba do ba ye si be to le do wa do wa ra re shu. Thank you.